Well, just because the spring and the summertime have left us, it doesn't mean that we can't enjoy a beautiful garden. Because I'm going to tell you that you can have an awesome autumn garden with really the right kind of planning and the right kind of selection of things.
Yeah, so I'm interested in this because I definitely have seen the rattiness factor show up.
Oh, really?
Some of the stuff is looking
Sad.
leggy, sad. The
Yeah.
hot summer just ended, and we're in a time when I could use a little pick me up, a little gussying up. What do you recommend?
And you notice it too, like if you're driving around your community, and a lot of times there are these little islands, of where the city has planted things to make it look more homey, right?
That's actually a great observation. You take a picture of that, and then you take that to the nursery.
Yeah.
Because the city's going to know what's going to work at that time.
Yeah.
Right?
So let's set you straight, because this is not a time to worry. We're going to help you extend your season and the beautiful colors and all that stuff, so that you really are enjoying your garden year round. So, for instance, some of the flowers and plantings to consider. It's all about shopping for fireworks. Right? Think of your garden as fireworks of color. And there are all kinds of different long-lasting combinations that will extend from now until, the end of the year. So one of the plants, these are flowering plants you should try, is called golden lace. And it's this late-blooming perennial that adds this kind of spark of yellow, and it gives you a sense of fall. You could also try something called catmint. And catmint brings these beautiful lavender little tufts of flowers. And so that gives you a cool splash. And that combined, when you have the yellow and the lavender, really pretty.
Oh, that's a pretty combination.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah.
So that's something to think about. I mean, The idea is to, even though you're going, oh, my garden is looking a little dull, between now and the end of the year, there's no reason why you can't have some really great beautiful things that are going to add color. Now, think of this too. By the way, think of some of those grasses.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of those thriving right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you have some grasses like some
I
of
have
those
a few. I have a few, but the place that I go, my gym, which is at Cal State Northridge, right?
And
they've got beautiful stuff there that's all sort of drought tolerant. Because it's a brand new LEED certified building, so they've really chosen some stuff that doesn't need much water. But man, it's gorgeous.
Beautiful,
it looks like a wheat field,
fluffy.
The way it blows and stuff. It's gorgeous. Yeah.
Well, so you can do all that. You can gear your garden toward this fall interest by combining color with texture. So be thinking about some of those perennials that'll give you some of that color, that'll like the yellows and the violets that'll go between now and the end of the year. But then these fluffy grasses like the dwarf fountain grass, that are that just kind of sway in the wind,
Yeah, and that's the stuff, and it feels to me like you can buy, even though it's not going to seem as grand when you plant it, but you can buy that in really small containers, and it shoots up pretty quickly. Because I've seen it kind of go from when this stuff was first planted. It wasn't very long ago. Now it's 3-4 feet tall, and it's really filling out.
See, isn't that nice? And that was fast.
Very
really
fast.
fast.
Yeah.
Late blooming flowers are the gems of the fall garden, as we know. But you don't have to depend just on that. You can also consider some of the beautiful foliage, some non-green foliage that will give you dependable color for months as the flowers come and go. There's something, for instance, you compare this kind of a yellow foliage of this plant called Aztec gold. And truly, the leaves are like golden. So that's kind of neat. So you could get that. Or there's also there's like white silvers and grays and blues. All of those work really well. And again, it's just all about the foliage. It's not just about flowers. I mean, you can have flowers, but then the grasses, and then the interesting foliage is really great. How about some seedy characters? So, for instance, you can get, again, to add to your autumn, your autumn garden, there's certain plants that have these seeds, the seed heads, these little tufts that look, very interesting, and it gives you structure and a variety of shapes. So when you put that with the grasses and the foliage.
Yeah, that's great contrast and texture. I like that.
Yeah. I mean, there's one called the purple cone flower. And, after the bright petals are gone, these little seed tufts that almost look blackish burgundy are there. So imagine having this blackish burgundy tall cone. Again, it's called the purple cone flower.
Right.
Have that with these grasses and the yellows. It feels like you've got your own autumn field.
Wow, that's
You know?
that's beautiful. And
Yeah.
so what's some of the other stuff to do? I
Well,
mean, the succulents.
the succulents
too, right?
are
They
amazing.
can really kind of give you that whole feel of
It's going to
blooming, even though it's not really a blooming flower, right?
Totally. And what's really great about this is that you don't have to be a fancy gardener. You're gonna succeed pretty easily with these guys. So you can actually pick, because everyone's selling succulents now. You're seeing it at the grocery store, right? You're seeing it in
I
big
see
box
it at
stores.
the drugstore.
I
They
know.
got them in the. I'm like, what?
I know. So everyone is on the bandwagon for succulents. So
Yeah.
you can go for some of the types that aren't as fancy or finicky, but yet they still are going to give you rich color and texture, and they're going to live, all the way through next year, and it's going to just feel like you've got an amazing garden. So here's one to consider. I have this one. It's called the paddle plant. Do you have this one?
Oh, that's the big sort of paddle-shaped leaves that have sort of the burgundy, multiple colors.
Yeah, it has like a silvery blue.
Yep.
And with kind of like the coral, it has almost 3 different shades. It goes from green to silver blue to almost like coral. And yes, in each of the, I guess I'll call them leaves, but they're not. But they look like flat paddles, almost like ping pong
Right.
paddles, And they
Almost, they have like an aloe characteristic to them, right?
Yes.
Little tufty, plump leaves. Beautiful.
Yeah. And the leaves are flat, and they're kind of layered into this odd kind of a rosette, and then the plant kind of bolts when it blooms, and the center stem kind of gets elongated with this gangly white kind of a stalk. But you can raise these from little cheapo babies and they're going to go and grow like double in size
Right.
really easily. In fact, and then you can propagate. I can share part of mine with you. I can just snap it off at the stem.
Yes, the gift that keeps on
And
giving.
put it in the ram
By the
it.
way, you gave me some of those.
I think I did.
Last year, and they've thrived and spread, and it looks
I'm going to give you
great.
some more. You can't stop me.
It's a gift. I'll take it. Kid me.
But it's fun because it's so easy just to snap these off,
Yep.
put it in the soil, done. Just make sure that you use cactus soil.
Right.
Because, succulents don't like to be sitting in water, and regular planting or potting soil is too moist.
Sure.
It doesn't drain. Basically, it has more of those little perlites.
Right.
The cactus soil
Yes.
has more
so
of that.
the key is the drainage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It almost has like a sand-like component to it as well.
Right.
Another really good one is a succulent for zinnia lovers, and it's called the Zwartkop. It's kind of a weird name. And it's a deep, deep burgundy, and it almost looks like a sunburst. You know what I mean? And so imagine having that in a
Got
couple
the burgundy leaves and sort of the lime green center to it. Yeah,
yes.
I've seen that. That's
really
gorgeous.
pretty, and it's easy to grow, and it grows up to 24 inches tall and wide, and it likes full sun to light shade. So again, you got a wide range of options, and now you've got your autumn garden. Now, if you don't have one of these donkey tails, you got to get this guy.
Oh, this is great. These are trailers, right?
Yeah, these are-
These cascade down.
yes, in baskets.
Don't you love how the succulent world has sort of the same things in terms of plant variety, but it's a succulent?
Yes.
It's kind of cool.
It's totally-
Because, the secret to the great arrangement is to have the tall stuff, the medium stuff, and then the
Mm-hmm.
trailing stuff. Well, this is the trailing spiller of the succulent world. Great
Which
stuff.
is beautiful in a container, or if you have it in a hanging basket, because these guys get long.
They almost look like grapes.
They do. I got to warn you, though, I have a basket of these, and they're a little delicate. So just be careful, because if
Yeah,
you
you
just
can knock them off pretty easily.
the little niblets, they bounce off really,
Yeah.
really easy.
Yeah.
It likes kind of a shady location with filtered light. So if you have like that perfect spot, like maybe a balcony, maybe you live in a condo or an apartment, or you have a little area, a side garden, perfect spot to kind of give you now. And they're silvery blue. Pretty.
They're really pretty. I love.
Do you
these.
have it? Do you have
yeah,
one of these
I do.
guys?
I've
Yeah.
got some of these. Yeah.
Now here's another one. I mean, there's so many. We love our sticks on fire.
Oh
Or
man,
also,
mine's going. You gave me some of those too. Those are cranking.
these are amazing. Now it's officially called the pencil tree, but what it is, it grows 3 feet tall to 2 feet wide. It likes full sun, and the more sun it gets, it truly looks like it's on fire. It goes from green to yellow
to bright
to
red.
orange to bright
now,
red.
I have to tell you, when we planted these at my house,
Was that good?
great, but I would recommend wearing a dust mask. Because the pollen from these got into
Yeah.
my lungs, and I was kind of coughing a little bit. It went away in a couple of minutes, but it's definitely something to think about.
And also, I think that if you snap off part of its stem, it also can have a stinging effect on some people. It's
Right.
little white milky juice.
Right.
So be careful of that. So good idea to wear gloves and maybe a mask too. Anyway, we will put all these on the website because the ideas are endless in terms of succulents. I mean, you got to make sure you get this thing called the zebra hyworthia too. It looks like basically an aloe plant, but with these white horizontal
that's beautiful.
stripes.
Yep.
And this, by the way, it kind of looks like a crocodile.
Yeah, it does,
But
doesn't
it does. It's hot. It's basically hard to kill. And you can grow this inside or outside. So you're going to have a taste of...
Wait, hard to kill? You're speaking my
This
language.
is you. You want to get the zebra hyworthia. Anyway, we'll have more fun stuff for you. Stay tuned. You're listening to Home Wizards. Eric Stromer, Cindy Dole. Keep it right here.
And he fills it on the